Who were the wise men? Why did they bring Jesus gifts? Who told them that Jesus was a king? Before we answer all these questions, make sure that you like this video, subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell if you don't want to miss any of our videos. Okay, so when you look at a nativity scene or a crib, what do you usually find? Well, there's Mary and Joseph, some animals, an angel, some shepherds, and if it's after Christmas Day, then baby Jesus would be there too. But there's also another set of people in the crib, the three wise men. While most of us might think this is normal, if you look at the biblical accounts, the wise men didn't show up until much later. So why are they there? Why do we include them in the nativity scene? To answer this, let's first look at the timeline of their visit. Now, due to their presence in the nativity scene, most people assume that the Magi visited Jesus in the manger. This doesn't actually seem to be the case. For one, in Luke 2, it says that after the angels appeared to the shepherds, they went in haste to visit Jesus. On the other hand, when we read about the wise men in Matthew chapter 2, it says, "And going into the house, they saw the child with Mary his mother, and they fell down and worshipped him." Also, the words used to describe Jesus in the two accounts, babe and child, are different in Greek. While the Greek brephos, meaning newborn or infant, is used by Luke, Matthew's account uses the term paidion, meaning young child or a little boy. So unlike the shepherds, the Magi didn't immediately find out about Jesus and go visit him. They probably saw Jesus when he was around 2 years old, right before the Holy Family left for Egypt. But the Magi came from the east, which meant they were most likely Gentiles. So who were these mysterious men from the east? Why would they look for the king of the Jews? How did they find him? While common biblical translations refer to the Magi as wise men, the word was originally translated as magician or sorcerer. They were similar to fortune tellers. According to the Greek historian Herodotus, the Magi are one of the 6 tribes of the Medes. They were most likely the priestly tribe for the Persians. In the Bible, we see a few references to the Magi in the book of Daniel when King Nebuchadnezzar calls upon them to interpret his dreams. So the Magi were known to read the stars and interpret heavenly omens, and having worked alongside Daniel and other Israelites from the time of exile onwards, they would be familiar with Jewish history and culture and even messianic prophecies. So how did the Magi find Jesus? Let's go back to the book of Daniel. Around 597 BC, King Nebuchadnezzar pillaged Jerusalem and destroyed the temple. Jews were deported from Judea to Babylon and to other parts of the empire. During this time, Daniel became a member of the king's court. Now, Daniel was advisor to several kings during the exile. During his time, he records a prophecy given to him by Angel Gabriel about the end of their exile and a coming Messiah. But Angel Gabriel doesn't just tell him that the Messiah will come. He tells him exactly when the Messiah would come. The Jews understood week to mean 7 and 70 weeks to mean 77s or 70 times 7, which equals 490. That meant, according to the prophecy, it would be 490 years until the Messiah would come. So this would explain how the Magi knew when to look for the Messiah. There are other Old Testament prophecies that point to the coming of a great king, specifically from Israel out of Jacob. A ruler shall come out of Bethlehem. This is how they knew the great king of the Jews, the prophesied Messiah, would be born in Bethlehem. But this leaves the question, why did the wise men want to visit the king of the Jews in the first place? And where did we get the idea that they were kings who came riding on camels to see Jesus? This could be explained by 2 Old Testament prophecies. Psalm 72 speaks about a royal son, a just and righteous king who would bring peace and prosperity to his people and crush the oppressor. It goes on to say, "May the kings of Tarshish and of the isles render him tribute. May the kings of Sheba and Seba bring gifts. May all kings fall down before him, all nations serve him." Isaiah 60 not only prophesies that the Messiah would be king over the nations, but that kings would come bearing gifts of gold and frankincense. So the Magi recognized that Jesus was the Messiah, the king of the Jews prophesied about in the Old Testament. They were able to use prophecies to calculate the time and place of his birth and traveled far to see the kings of kings. They brought him gold representing Jesus' kingship, frankincense representing his divine priesthood, and myrrh to represent his role as a prophet and to foreshadow his death. So together the gifts represented Christ's mission as priest, prophet, and king. Now, the Catholic Church celebrates the feast of the Epiphany or the feast of the Three Kings on January 6th. The word Epiphany means manifestation. It celebrates the revelation of Jesus as the Son of God. One common tradition is the house blessing. It is usually done by the parish priest or the head of the house if the priest is unavailable. For the blessing, the home is blessed with holy water while reciting the prescribed prayers. Then you take blessed chalk and first write the initials of the three wise men connected with crosses over the inside of your front door and then the year. According to tradition, the names of the three wise men are Caspar, Melchior and Balthasar. So the inscription for this year would look like this: 20c+m+b+24. The initials C, M and B also refer to Christus Mensione Benedicat in Latin, which means Christ bless this house. So, the next time you sing We Three Kings, think about the wise men, how they traveled far and wide offering their time and treasure and worship for Jesus, the King of Kings. How God fulfilled his promise to his people. How the Magi worshipped Jesus, the King of Kings and ruler of all nations. So, what do you think about this? How are you celebrating the Feast of Epiphany? What are you offering as a gift to the King of Kings? Let us know in the comments below. Also, if you like this video, let us know by liking and subscribing to our channel. It helps us a lot. Until next time.